Aditi Dugar, co-founder of Urban Gourmet and Masque.
I am Varun Totlani, chef at Masque and Bar Paradox in Mumbai.
Come on in.
Masque as a restaurant was basically to celebrate India with its culture, people, traditions, and the bounty that our country has to offer. We basically do like a 10-course tasting menu and kind of represent the India we've kind of seen recently based on our trips, what we find, and like I said, to celebrate everything that India has to offer.
I think Masque has always been an extension of my home, I think. And I think that the hospitality, what we serve here is really how we would entertain in our homes. And for me, it's being my first restaurant, not coming from an F&B background. It has a real personal meaning for me, and what we've created and what we've built and continue to build is very, very special.
So the lobster that we use is basically essentially a bug from the Andaman waters. The head, the shells will all get converted into a sauce, and the meat is what we're going to grill for the course. We use a French technique called making a bisque. Bisque is like a broth or a sauce made with shells of seafood, like it can be made with crab or prawn or lobster. And then once we make the bisque, we'll add sun-dried tomatoes, some spices to kind of make it like a modern Indian sauce. So I'm just going to put these on skewers. Basically, when shellfish, prawn, lobster, when it cooks, it tends to curl up. We don't want it to. And on skewers, it's also easier to control when we grill. This is Goan Chorizo. It's the sausage that is made in Goa. The whole dish kind of revolves around different ingredients of Goa and different flavors of Goa that we kind of like to celebrate. So this is essentially the sauce that's first made into, like I said, we first cook down the shells with tomatoes, mirpoa, which is essentially like carrot, onion, celery, make like a super flavorful lobster stock. So we're gonna grill the lobster, and we need this to be like super hot, red hot for it. So like I said, instinct, it's experience, like if it's translucent, it's not cooked. It has to be opaque. Right now, it's only half cooked. We're gonna rest it till we do everything else. But then I'm gonna glaze it with, it's the same sauce that's reduced with a lot of butter. So when we finish it, it just catches a little more char, catches a little seasoning. Goan Chorizo is already warming up. The sauce is boiling. I'm just going to season this a little bit with salt. So yeah, now that most of our components are ready, it's about almost ready to plate. So these are cordyceps mushrooms. We get it in a dried form. So we've just soaked them in water for it to like kind of rehydrate. And now we're going to season them. So the idea is that it's almost like, in India we only use them for Ayurvedic medicinal reasons. Now that everything's done, we're gonna come back to grilling the lobster. Final steps. We have everything ready behind us. We're gonna just cut and portion the lobster. I'm born and brought up in Bombay. My love for food, my palate, everything has been kind of shaped by Bombay, and it's been 10 years for Masque. Bombay has been a city that's been super supportive, super kind to us. Obviously a big part of our journey. So this kind of celebrates my nostalgia growing up in Bombay, and it's a thank you to the city for supporting us for the last 10 years. It all started with the idea of eating rather than cooking, but then there was nothing else I was good at. Now I don't cook anymore to eat. I only cook to feed other people. Matt Orlando from Copenhagen. He's one chef that is cooked like 3 times in the Masque kitchen. I spend a lot of time with him. He's definitely somebody I look up to, I want to learn from, and I think he's also like a mentor to me. Chef Dej Kacha is another chef from Bangkok. He's a pastry chef, but just the way he thinks about food, the way he presents things and how talented he is also is something I'd take as an inspiration. Chef Rasmus Monk from Copenhagen, I got an opportunity to cook with him as well. And yeah, I mean, he's an inspiration. But that being said, we don't look at awards as the only thing. Like, the idea is that I keep telling my kitchen, my team, not only the kitchen, that we're only as good as our last plate. And every guest that comes in needs to feel special, feel like we're doing it for them. So my mom's an amazing cook. I've been eating great food since I grew up. My dad was fond of eating. He used to take me out from restaurants to roadside places to Muhammad Ali Road during Ramzan. And unfortunately, I don't have a sad story like, oh, they didn't support me when I wanted to become a chef and all of that. Like, they were super supportive from day one. And even right now, my parents are like the happiest when a video is shot about me, or I'm featured in something, or when I win an award. They are my biggest like supporters and like fans, I guess. It's a Japanese knife made with carbon steel. Basically, in Japan, the old school samurai, the guys who used to make swords for samurais, once obviously the whole samurai tradition died down, they took their skills to repurpose it and kind of start making chef knives. So now Japanese knives are considered to be the best knives in the world, and this one is very good, but it also looks cool. So the lobster you saw, we trimmed, we grilled it again to make sure it was cooked, and then I cut it because we're serving it in a bowl. Now after 10 years, people are expecting us to do new dishes every time they come. Like, sometimes out of frustration, when a guest is demanding a new menu and they've eaten one menu for so long, I ask my team the same question. Like, they go to restaurants like that and eat the same thing again and again. Why do they have a problem coming here and eating something for the second or third time? But that's out of frustration because sometimes we're just super busy. But it's also that people expect us to do newer things. People expect that when they come to Masque, they eat something new and different. I feel excited when I cook something. I feel excited when I get to represent my restaurant, my country, when I cook outside of it, cook somewhere else. The day you stop feeling the excitement, I guess I'll stop doing this. So these are green peas from Jaipur. It's in season right now. We cook them and just keep them dipped in some basil oil. So it's just ready to go. I'm going to put that at the bottom. Then we're going to take the chorizo, like a lot of sourness because they put a lot of like malt vinegar, and obviously like a contrast in texture also because it's seafood versus pork. Masque Lab is basically like a flavor lab for the restaurant. Here we develop different flavors, different techniques of fermentation, pickling, preserving to see what flavors we can develop. It doesn't really have to be only Indian techniques, but also techniques we've learned from the rest of the world. A lot of these ferments and all get highlighted on the menu at Masque, but sometimes we don't really talk about them, but it's also how we amp up flavor. It's a great way to also sometimes take trims and waste from the kitchen and kind of extract flavor and see what you can do out of that. Morel miso was the first ferment we made when Masque Lab opened back in 2020. This is a blackening box. The technique we use is 100% jugaad, but essentially it's like a small heater that's put into the box, and it maintains like a temperature of 50 to 60 degrees Celsius. Essentially what's happening is that the fruit or the vegetable is cooking and fermenting together, but so what happens, the sugars start caramelizing and blackening and almost form a different flavor, but it doesn't really burn. Depending on the size of the fruit or vegetable, it takes about anywhere from a month to 3 months in that. The garlic takes about a month and a half to 2 months. The small madras onions take about a month, and then these get used in different forms on the menu. Sometimes also it works backwards, where we just develop different flavors, we make different ferments, we make different things here, and then when we're working on a new menu and we want to add flavor, then we come back here, taste different things and see what we can use there. The idea of Masque Lab is not to keep doing the same thing. Yes, we do produce more of things that we like, but the idea is also to develop new flavor and kind of push the boundaries of flavor. So you're literally playing with bacteria and fungus. So sometimes you want the good bacteria and the good fungus to come, but sometimes you don't have control, and you taste it, you find out the next day that it's not really amazing. Right here is like a humidifier where we make our koji. Koji is basically a good bacteria that you grow on any grain, especially rice. It's a Japanese technique of fermentation, and it's basically the start of most of the Japanese ferments like soy sauce, sake, also like misos, everything. So what we do is we grow koji on the rice, on the dosa rice, and then that ferments our dosa batter. This is the final main course on the menu, and it celebrates basically the South Indian community in Mumbai. This is the dosa. We spoke about it earlier. It's not exactly a Behind dosa, but it's inspired by that. We call it a Koji Dosa. We add the koji to the batter, and what that does is gives us this crust and a little sweetness and a little funky flavor to the dosa. You have a lamb brain chutney that's coated in podi with some curry leaf and seaweed. I like eating very textural food. I like crispy things with my food. So we do sunchok chips, and traditionally gassi is eaten with this thing called kori roti, which is crispy dosa batter, like a bread in Bangalore that's very crispy. So this is almost like kind of replacing the kori roti. And then achar, pickles are a big thing for us. So we do these mirchi ka achar, but it's like shishito peppers that are grilled. We use Bhavnagari chilies, but the style of shishito peppers being grilled, and we glaze it with the chunda we saw at the lab, and a little bit of chili pickle we saw at the lab also. We kind of make a glaze with both of them mixed, and then you get to your mains, which is, this one's an avial. Avial in Kerala is like a mixed vegetable stew. We do it with eggplant, asparagus, butternut squash, fresh green tur dal, and also samphire or sea asparagus. And then this one is gassi. Gassi is a Mangalorean dish. And then there's lamb or mutton that's glazed with black garlic and lots of herbs. And yeah, that's about it. So I would recommend using your hands, breaking the dosa and trying different combinations.
It just started with small ideas. Of course, I upskilled myself. Not being from the food background, I went and starched different restaurants around the world. I worked with a Thai street food specialist, and I brought back those ideas of those kitchens, or even if I starched even for a week, whatever the learnings I got back into my own kitchen. I think when we started, there was, you could go eat, there was a wasabi at the Taj, or Indian Accent, I would say, was the only fine dining restaurant in the country. And of course, there were iconic restaurants like a Dampuk or Bukhara, but everything within 5-star hotels. There wasn't any standalone restaurant And I think Masque did kind of become that disruptor or the first mover advantage in that space 10 years or a decade ago, where we were the only tasting menu restaurant in India and everybody thought we would fail. Mediocrity has never been part of the formula. I remember when we collaborated, and of course this was the time when Varun had taken over the kitchen, and we collaborated with 11 Madison Park, and they needed a particular carrot for their carrot tableside course, and they needed it with the root and the stock. And we literally had flown down somebody to Kashmir because usually when carrots are harvested in India, they go into cold storage, and you don't really get it with the whole root. And we literally had to send somebody to Kashmir to pick up that early morning harvest and bring the produce back to be able to create that drama on the table and execute that course. The idea of Masque Lab came about because we were going and procuring all this amazing produce from all over the country. We realized that we're taking so much effort to bring this produce into our kitchens. Why aren't we doing something about it, like making a sea buckthorn jam or making a syrup, like using something for fermentation, like using different ingredients, using the menu leftover to create like maybe koji, like different ideas. We were already doing this in the Masque kitchen. So it was just that it was happening within our kitchen, but we didn't have a dedicated space where we could then store it and really have a dedicated person doing this research and extending that, pushing the boundaries or pushing the limits on what Masque was already doing. We always spoke about sustainability as a restaurant and zero waste and moving towards that idea of zero waste. And I remember during COVID when we had to scrap the whole menu because suddenly overnight diners weren't coming in. So Varun had a genius idea to turn the entire prep of the restaurant into fermenting it and making it into a koji, which still exists upstairs in our lab. When you surround yourself with the right people who align on your ideas, who align on your ideology, who are on this shared vision, they are able to be with you on this, in these ups and downs and ride the wave with you. Whether it's hard or it's joyous,
You would always come to the kitchen for one course. This course kind of celebrates the idea of gola. There's a Japanese dessert made with shaved ice called kakigori, and what we do is kind of create a dessert that is representative of both. We've taken inspiration from the kakigori also. So at the bottom, I have a salad of mulberries and grapes. This is a foam made with Gondraj lime, so lime from Bengal. We're going to put like the little foam on top, put a little bit of the Gondraj zest, a little bit of chaat masala. The flavor, obviously we're celebrating Bombay with this menu, so the gola is essentially a part of all the, from Chopati to Juhu Beach. And then the flavor we've gone for is Kala Khatta. We're going to build it like a kakigori, where we're not compressing the ice like how you would for gola, but we're going to let it be loose. The idea is to get flakes of ice rather than like compressed ice. So you want you want flakes like that to drop, and then we just keep turning it. We just drop like the Kala Khatta syrup on it. So the Kala Khatta syrup, we don't use like jamun or traditionally what is used. We use mulberries to make the Kala Khatta syrup. Truffle oil, avocado and everything. One ingredient we go back for every year is sea buckthorn, and I think Ladakh, my trips there are quite memorable. It's the terrain, the people, the culture, everything is amazing. Pav Bhaji at Suksagar, Ayub's, red tamarind. I know lots of like restaurants like Masque are using this now, but in the whole cuisine, the idea of using ants is quite underrated. Seaweed, Indian seaweed, let me be more particular, because everyone loves Japanese seaweed and seaweed from all over the world, but like I think Indian seaweed needs to be spoken about more. Trishna, Alchemist in Copenhagen, and Gagan in Bangkok. Salt. Very complicated. There'll be a big meal. I mean, a little bit of everything, right? It's the last meal. So like from pav bhaji to Ayub's, shish kebab roll, beda roti, dosa, some Chinese food, some dim sums, a little bit of everything. Like I've not thought about my last meal as yet. I mean, gola from Chopati, sev puri from this guy who stands at Carmichael Road. I can't, he has no name. Bombay sandwich from Gwalatank, jalebi papadi from Opera House, the Khao Gali. There's this place called Dave at Babulnath, like the samosa there. I can go on, but I think this much is good to try. Tandoori crab. The team briefing. Season your food at every stage we're cooking. I don't think I would change anything. It's on the rise. The world is going to see India and the Indian food industry. Everyone's talking about Indian food. We're seeing it. We're seeing the world recognize that it's not only takeout or curries. So honestly, I love the path we're on, and I wouldn't change anything.
Reservations for tonight. The first table will come in at 7 p.m. It's a table of 5. Oksana. They're all vegetarians with no eggs. They don't want any animal rennet in the cheese as well. No alcohol in the food, or no product that has any animal violence.
So that was the day at Masque. This was all the prep. We're getting into the second part of our day, which is actually service and welcoming guests in. You'll have to come back and experience that for yourself. We're not going to take you there. Thank you. Bye-bye.